Hello, everybody, and welcome to the screencast. Now new and improved with some really suboptimal graphics and an amazing intro. Hello, friends. Today on Math You Should Know, we're going to be talking about percent. Percent is a relatively old word that's been around since, Roman times. Percent comes from Latin per, we've heard that before when we were talking about ratios, part of centium, which we shortened these days to cent. And if you think about this word, we've seen this word somewhere else before, I'm sure. If we just take a look at our root there, cent, and we think about money, we think about maybe a penny, and I might need, yeah, you got it, 100 pennies to make a dollar. Romans, way back in ancient times, they counted a lot of things at 100. Things like soldiers, they called them centurions because they put 100 of them all together. Any kind of 100 you can think of, we're talking about cent. So let's take a look at what we're going to do today. We're going to be taking percents, parts of 100, pieces of 100, and converting them into fractions. And if you think of it in school terms, teachers do this for you all the time when they give you grades. So let's take a look at this particular problem. You might look at this and know automatically, yeah, Shetler, I know, 50%, that's 1/2 of everything. Let's get the pen going here. 1/2 of whatever we're talking about. 1/2 of the class, 1/2 of the cats, 1/2 of the broken cars in our backyard, okay? Whatever it is, this is gonna say 1/2, but let's prove it, How do I get from this to this? And some of this is going to look really familiar, especially if you're paying close attention yesterday. First of all, we're going to come up with a quick strategy that I love called the bounce-bounce strategy. We have to determine in 50% where is the decimal right now, right there, and we're going to get rid of the percent by, we'll put a decimal over here and a percent symbol over here, to remind me that I'm trying to turn this into a decimal. How do I do it? I'm going to bounce, boink, boink, and move that. So I could say that 50 hundredths equals 50%, and that's accurate. Yesterday, we came up with a strategy. We're going to say it, we're going to write it, and we're going to reduce it. So we could say this number is 50 hundredths. We said it, we wrote it, and now let's reduce it. I think 50 goes into both. And that equals 1/2. Oh, yes, and that's exactly how we get from point A to point B. Some people that are really savvy might have said, well, hang on, Mr. Shetler, isn't 50 hundredths really equal to 5/10? And I would agree, you could proceed from there. How about another problem? Here's a little bit more complex. It says, in a recent survey, 55% of cell phone owners said they text message. What fraction of cell phone owners is this? Well, see a percent. We're going to need to change that to a decimal. 55%. Where's the decimal right now? It's hiding right here. Bounce, bounce, and now we have a working number. I like to tell students that when I see this and I'm trying to do math, this is kind of a sign that says, I don't really play well with others. I'm kind of a bully and I don't like to play in fun games with other numbers. So we're going to get rid of it whenever we can. In this case, now I have 55 hundredths. Hey, I said it. I'm going to write it. And then I'm going to reduce it. How about 5? Yeah, common factor of 5. 55 divided by is 11. And 20 or 10, yeah, 20. My head just jumped ahead, which means that out of 20 folks, 11 will be text messaging, which seems kind of low these days. I think almost 99% of people text message, including Mother. Hi, Mother. Hope you're watching the screencast today. Okay. What if I want to go the other way around? What if I know the fraction and I want to find the percent? Well, okay. I'm still going to put my decimal. What changes every time? I'm going to put decimal point over there. We're going to put our percent symbol over here. Yesterday we did this in class too. If you recall, we changed fractions to decimals. I drew that fancy slidey board style. All right, so we got 6 divided by 8. And if I'm using all the tools in my toolbox, probably want to use a calculator. And I'm just going to put right in my calculator 6. Oh, look, there's the symbol, the sliding board symbol. Divided by. And I think it's 8 equals 0.75. I've heard of this number before. This is a very familiar number. 0.75. It is 75 hundredths, right? Yeah, that's how I say it. So the thing is, I need to change this to a percent. I think I have enough right here. If I recall, over here I have a decimal. Over here I have a percent symbol. I want to change it to a percent symbol. Why don't I reverse bounce, bounce? Bounce, bounce. There we go. And now I have 75%. I can change any decimal to a percentage. How about 0.65? Bounce, bounce equals 65%. Ooh, here's an interesting one. What if I have 0.03? And I convert that. Well, bounce, 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 bounce. And that equals 3%. That 0 there is holding a place in the tens column. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how we go from percent to fraction and fraction to percent. That's the math you should know.